Good evening. This is Truth TV News with me, Anne Marie. We're transmitting live from our studios here at Heritage Christian College in Amasaman. Coming up shortly, COVID-19 not for the rich. Also, Ghanaians won't trust EC if Gian Mensah is not cross-examined. Later in business, Treasury bills oversubscribed at 96%, interest rates fall. And with news on the foreign front, South Africa's COVID vaccinations to use Johnson & Johnson. We have all these details coming up shortly after this break. Stay with us. Thanks for joining us. Now let's settle for the details. Medical Director at the Midway Clinic, Dr. Gifty Kwashi in Giza, has asked commercial drivers to disregard street talks that COVID-19 is for the rich. She said cases being recorded shows that children, adults, the rich, poor, elite, and illiterate were testing positive for the virus and called for cautiousness amongst all.
Dr. Kwasi Giza said this when Strategic Communications Africa Limited presented some branded nose masks to commercial drivers at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle Interchange Bus Terminal. COVID-19 is real. Between yesterday and today, about 762 persons in Ghana have tested positive and over 100 million people have tested positive globally. She said, adding that the infected persons were all not rich people. Dr. Kwasi Giza said about 80% of infected persons were asymptomatic and stressed the need for all to keep to the safety protocols, especially the wearing of face masks, observance of social distancing, and the washing of hands regularly with soap and running water. Mr. Kofi Baabwache, Executive Director, Business Development Stratum Africa, said the donation of 500 branded nose masks was in collaboration with the internationally recognized luxury fashion house Christy Brown and public transport advertising platform provider Trotro TV. He said the intervention came at a time when there was a sudden surge in the reported cases of COVID-19 infections in Ghana, with calls on Ghanaians to continue to observe safety protocols, particularly wearing face masks.
Also, prominent spirited lawyer and professor Stephen Kweku Asari, known widely as Kweku Azar, has praised lawyer Chachi Chikata, counsel for the petitioner in the ongoing 2020 election petition before the Supreme Court, for the skilled way he argued in his attempt to get the chairperson of the Electoral Commission to mount the witness box for cross-examinations. In a post on social media, Kweku Azar said that the advocacy skills of the renowned lawyer are a pleasure to watch, adding that it makes a case for the law to be taught exclusively at universities, since Mr. Chikata was a law lecturer at University of Ghana's Faculty of Law. He says he must admit that he disagrees with Chikata's election theory. He should have simply tendered in the witness statement and then moved to cross-examine. His other points about justice and prior affidavits are more persuasive. Agree or disagree, his advocacy skills are a pleasure to watch. One more reason why the law should be taught at the universities, he argued. Professor Azar in the write-up maintains that the EC will have nothing to lose if its chairperson is allowed to mount the witness box for the purposes of cross-examination. It is in the interest of the Electoral Commission, the President, the petitioner, the court, and GOGO for the returning officer to enter the witness box and answer any questions that the petitioner might have. He further stated he cannot see any downside in her mounting the box to dispute the petitioner's claims lay out the truth as she knows it and clears any clouds surrounding the elections. Mr. Chikata has been much praised for his display of considerable legal knowledge and sharp advocacy skills since the hearing of the petition began. Leading member of the NPP has lashed out at Chachi Chikata, the lead counsel for the petitioner in the ongoing election petition at the Supreme Court, that he should admit that he has been outsmarted by counsels for the first and second respondents. According to him, Chachichi Kata does not expect the respondents to make their case on a mere allegation the petitioner has brought before the Supreme Court and requires witnesses for the first and second respondents to testify. He said it is only an option for a party to call on a witness to testify and be cross-examined before a court of a competent jurisdiction if that party finds it necessary, or vice versa. You do not allege and expect the respondents to make your case for you if they opt not to mount the witness box. Calling of witnesses is an option which a party can choose not to exercise if indeed that party sees it as not necessary. Chatu should simply admit that he's been outsmarted. It's left with populist submissions for the ears of party activists. Gabi made the comments in a post on his social media handle on Tuesday after the case was adjourned to Thursday, February 11, 2021 for a ruling by the Supreme Court. Counsels for the first and second respondents told the Supreme Court on Monday, February 8, 2021 that they do not want to call forth any witnesses to adduce evidence in court in the matter before the Apex Court. The counsels for the two respondents cited Order 38, Rule 3E, Sub Rule 1 and 5 of CI 47 as amended by CI 87 as the basis for their decision to close their case and not call a witness. Both counsels told courts that they had expected the petitioner to be happy with their decision since it works in his favor. Justin Amenuvo, led counsel for the EC, supported his argument with Section 62 of the Evidence Act, which states that the court cannot compel his client to testify against her will, while lead counsel for the president, Akoto Ampao, maintained that the burden of proof lies with the petitioner and not the respondents. Away from that, a private legal practitioner, Justice Abdullahi, has confirmed that the ongoing election petition can conclude without the first respondent being cross-examined but indicated that it will mar the expectations of Ghanaians who are looking forward to having an opportunity to hear from Gian Mensah as regards exactly what transpired during the collating and declaration of the presidential results.
Mr. Abdullahi also said that though it falls within the ambit of the law for a witness to decide not to testify or contest with a petitioner in court, the Supreme Court's judges cannot force the respondents into the witness box. Though Ghanaians were anxiously waiting for John Mensah to be cross-examined by the lead counsel for the National Democratic Congress, lawyer Chachi Chikata, the first respondent, who is the last returning officer of the 2020 presidential elections, is refusing to testify on her own witness statement, and this will leave doubts in the minds of Ghanaians. The private legal practitioner further stated that if the EC knew she wouldn't have been in the witness box to testify, she shouldn't have filed her witness statement at all. Again, he stated that John Mensah should have made it clear from scratch she was not contesting the petitioner. Mr. Abdullahi concluded that if the chair of the Electoral Commission is cross-examined and she's able to defend her witness statement, it would help clear any doubts from the minds of the public on the presidential results declared in favor of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Now, Minority Member of Parliament for Bawku Central, Mahama Ayariga, ahead of the vetting of some ministers today, has served notice of voting against the nomination of the Minister of Health and the National Security Minister designate.
In a statement by the MP to the leadership of the committee, he outlined that the vetting of the two ministers will have his full consent and participation as member of the committee only when he is furnished with their handing over notes. The MP said that his demand is in pursuant to the Presidential Transition Act and that the requirement has not been met by the two nominees who have actually been re-nominated for their positions.
Minority Leader in Parliament Haruna Idrisu has said that his side of the House will not winch hunt any of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's ministerial nominees during the vetting.
Member of Parliament for Doma Central Constituency, Kweku Ajiman Menu, who is Health Minister designate, was the first to be vetted. Mr. Idrisu, who is also Tamale Central lawmaker, said the minority will only ensure that the persons appointed into authority are held accountable. The Appointments Committee of the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic is chaired by the First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei Owusu. The 26-member committee has 13 members on each side of the House. Member of Parliament for Efutu and Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin is the Vice Chair of the committee, while Haruna Idrisu and Minority Chief Whip Mubarak Mohammed Muntaka are ranking member and deputy ranking member, respectively.
Also, Minister of Education designate Yao Osei Educhum has been added to the initial list of ministerial nominees, explaining why Educhum was expected to face the committee today. He said it is because of the rise in COVID-19 cases recorded in senior high schools and junior high schools as well.
The committee found it necessary to vet the minister at least so that he can quickly take over the ministry and put in place measures to control the spread of the virus. That is why the committee decided to include the Education Minister designate in today's vetting. The Appointments Committee, headed by First Deputy Speaker of Parliament Joseph Osei Owusu, had originally scheduled two nominees for today. The two were Health Minister nominee Kweku Ajiman Menu and the National Security Minister nominee Albert Kandapa. Nominee Educhum returns to a ministry where he had served as deputy to then substantive Minister Matthew Opoku Prempeh. Asked about his reaction when the official list came out, he responded, "I'm very excited. At first, I could not believe."
Moving on, scores of supporters of the National Democratic Congress (NDC) have been mocking former party member and General Secretary of the party, Kwaku Anidoho, following news of his suspension from the party. His suspension came after two separate petitions from two registered members of the NDC against his conduct, which is viewed to be in breach of the party's disciplinary code for its members as contained in the NDC constitution. His membership was hence suspended pending on a full hearing. Days before his suspension, Mr. Anidoho said that the NDC will be rescued from dying. In a tweet, he indicated that while former presidents John Evans Atta Mills and Jerry John Rawlings have died, it does not also mean that the vision of the NDC has gone with them. The fact that President Rawlings and President Atta Mills are dead does not mean that the NDC is dead. We are going to rescue our NDC from the trials of death and breathe new life into it, promising to rebuild the NDC. Some of the party members are now advising the Atta Mills Institute boards, who promised to rebuild the NDC, to sell the blocks he had procured for the rebuilding the party since his membership has been suspended. And a 37-year-old driver, Yao Osei, has been remanded into police custody by the Inquiry Circuit Court for allegedly defiling his 10-year-old daughter on multiple occasions. The prosecution officer, Detective Inspector Echampon, presenting a brief on the case, told the court presided over by Michael Johnson Abbey that the complaint in the case is the mother of the victim with whom she resides with. The accused and the complaint divorced about 3 years ago. The prosecutor said on January 28 this year, the suspect took the 10-year-old girl from the complaint's house at Kobeng to Kumasi for shopping. He said the accused, whilst returning, stopped along the journey and sent his mate who was with him and the victim to buy food for the victim. The accused then put the victim on his lap, removed her underpants, fingered her, and started brushing her vagina with his penis. Upon realizing the return of his mate, the accused asked the victim to quickly dress up and warned her not to tell anyone. The accused then gave the victim 40 cedis and sent her to her mother at Kobeng. Osei on the next day called the complaint on phone and asked that the victim come to his end for money, which she obliged. The accused in the evening then forcibly had sex with her and gave her 100 cedis to return to her mother. The prosecution told the court that on February 2 this year, the mother and the child detected some changes in the victim's walking, and when she examined her, found bruises and some whitish substance on her vagina. The complaint then questioned the victim, who narrated her ordeal to her mother. A report was made to Nkawie police and Osei was arrested. In his caution statement, denied the charges while investigation into the matter continued. The plea of the accused was deferred by court to February 17, 2021. And on that sad note, that is how we draw the curtains for local stories. We'll be back with some business news. Please stay with us.
For the past 8 years, Hope College, with its serene environment, coupled with excellent facilities and dedicated teachers, have churned out many successful graduates doing well in universities across Ghana and all over the world. Here are a few.
My name is Regina Mensah Abusi, a fourth-year medical student from the University of Cape Coast. I attended Hope College from the years 2013 to 2016. Hope College was a great preparatory stage for entering the world. It instilled in me virtues such as honesty and integrity, and that has brought me this far. Choose Hope College.
My name is Judith Edem Middleton Dugbe, a second-year medical student of the University of Cape Coast. I completed Hope College in the year 2019. At Hope College, quality-driven education is assured, and the mind is educated as well as the heart. Choose Hope College.
My name is Comfort Ajimandia, a level 200 law student at the University of Ghana. I completed Hope College in the year 2019, and my stay there was a wonderful experience. Apart from the fact that the environment is serene and very conducive for teaching and learning, the teachers are also highly experienced and display an unwavering dedication towards the student's body. This dedication is not limited to classroom activities only, but extends to the social, emotional, and psychological life of the students through mentorship programs. The idea of schooling is not based on only academics, but includes the preparation of students for the battle ahead. In this vein, Hope College promises to equip each student to face the realities of life. Choose Hope College.
The parents of our students, both past and present, are equally satisfied and proud.
My name is Professor Kwejua Piejetia. I'm Assistant Professor of Law at the University of Ghana. I had the privilege of enrolling my son Yao at Hope College, and I considered it a blessing because he came out as a well-rounded person in terms of his behavior, how to even do chores at home, and the commitment to his studies. I chose Hope College because I believed in the principle of being raised in a close-knit Christian environment, where Christian ethics are used as a principle to discipline students and train them to become useful citizens for Mother Ghana and of course for themselves as well. Yao embodied those qualities when he came out of Hope College, and so I consider it as one of the top-notch secondary schools in the country that people should be willing to enroll their students in, So choose Hope College.
My name is Mrs. Sarah Ansan, the headmistress of Sakumono Complex 2 JHS. My daughter is Ekia Ohiniwa Ansan, a second-year student of the college reading General Arts. I chose Hope College simply because in terms of academic excellence, I think Hope College is one of the best, if not the best, because they've not been in the system for quite a long time, but their track record is something that we can boast about. I will encourage every parent who wants their child to go to a private SHS and make it to choose Hope College.
My name is Fred Asari. I am the founding headmaster of Hope College and currently the group managing director of Village of Hope. For character, scholarship, service and leadership, choose Hope College for the education of your child.
Admission in progress. Locate Hope College in Gomwafete behind the Village of Hope campus. Visit www.vohgroup.org or call 020 023 7175 0248 748944. Hope College. Character, scholarship, service, leadership.
Thank you for staying with us. It's time for business news. And in business news, latest figures from the Central Bank of Ghana have shown some high falls in treasury rates with a recorded value of 96% oversubscription in the recent treasury bills rates.
According to the figures, the investor interest in the government's short-term security keeps soaring high, most especially the 3-month Treasury bill subscription. The figures show that Treasury yield on the 91-day Treasury bill fell by about 0.25% to 13.81%, and the 6-month Treasury bill has gone down by about 0.8% to 14.01%, causing a huge shrunk on the T-bills sales. The first 5 weeks of the new year have seen a large oversubscription, making the government's plan to mobilize more funds achievable. Its initial plan was to mobilize up to tune of 856 million Ghana cedis for the short-term securities, but ended up getting 1.679 billion Ghana cedis. This is welcoming further investor interest because it is securing enough funds to repay maturing loans and also finance the budget. Data from the Bank of Ghana indicate that the government treasury securities were priced lower than the present rate during the early part of last year, but the latest fall in interest rate could shift to that trend. The government got a little above 1.5 billion Ghana cedis worth of bids for the 91-day treasury bill, but accepted 962 billion Ghana cedis and also accepted 113.82 million Ghana cedis for the 6-month treasury bill, though the bids tendered were 114.77 million Ghana cedis. However, the government's decision to reduce its borrowing marginally has largely led to a minimal fall in interest rates.
And that will be all for business news. We'll be back with some international stories. Please stay with us. Don't go away.
Heritage Christian College, or HCC, is a university college affiliated to Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, and we are accredited by the National Accreditation Board, NAB. HCC is a distinctive Christian university in Ghana today. It's a university intentionally set up to provide what I call a missing link in the tertiary education delivery in Ghana and on the continent of Africa.
Unemployment is a huge issue in our country, Ghana, and for that matter, in the whole of Africa. And that is the difference that Heritage seeks to make, helping to have the Ghanaian young people train and give themselves meaningful jobs without having to wait, this is phenomenal, and we are focused on delivering that.
Before you finish ACC, you have your own business. It's a privilege to you because you won't be hunting around looking for a job. You already have your job. So with a CEP, if you're a student in Heritage Christian University, you have a great opportunity of becoming an entrepreneur right after school.
Our company name is Rosemarsh Farms Ghana Limited. Our vision is to be the preferred choice for quality, affordable, and value-added agricultural products.
In our modest way, we want to make learning very practical. We want to train people not only in the theory, but even important is our students to be able to apply whatever theory that they learn into resolving very everyday problems. In this modern world, in this era, there is nothing that you can do well without the use of technology. Everything is driven by technology, and we want to be relevant.
On the international front, South Africa's planned coronavirus vaccination campaign will be launched with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine instead of the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine, whose effectiveness is currently being questioned. South African Health Minister Zweli Mkhize announced this on Wednesday.
On Sunday, South African authorities had suspended the start of an ambitious vaccination program, which was to take place in the coming days with 1 million AstraZeneca Oxford vaccines after a study showed limited efficacy against the local variant of the virus known as 501YV2. According to initial results of this study, the vaccine is only 22% effective against moderate forms of the South African variant. No results are yet available on its efficacy against severe forms. Currently, South Africa, the African country hardest hit by the virus, has ordered 9 million doses of Johnson & Johnson vaccine, with the first small shipment expected next week. The first shipment is likely to be used as research stock, said the minister. South African pharmaceutical company Aspen, the licensed manufacturer of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, is very committed to accelerating production in South Africa. Zweli Mkhize added, saying the first doses would be available in April. South Africa is being hit by a second wave of coronavirus, largely caused by a local variant known to be much more contagious than the original virus. Since the beginning of the pandemic, the country has recorded nearly 1.5 million cases of infections and more than 46,800 deaths due to the coronavirus.
And Somalia's President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo has called for a meeting with federal state leaders next week to resolve the impasse on how to proceed with elections. The term of President Farmajo ended on Monday after talks on the election collapsed on February 5. Opposition groups have said they no longer recognize Mr. Farmajo's authority and called for the formation of a transitional body. The president's office tweeted about the meeting scheduled for next week in Garowe, Puntland State. The UN Security Council on Tuesday urged Somalia's leaders to reach consensus on the arrangements for the conduct of inclusive elections with a view of holding them as soon as possible. It welcomed the announcement of further talks on February 15. African Union Commission Chair Musa Faki Mahamat had on Monday made a similar call. And that will be all for news at 8 with me, Anne Marie. We'll be back with some Akan news with Obeng Chebafo on standby. Stay with us.
Se edwie efritirimu ekopiem ewa abodwesemu a na onyira na emum otu empasa enti se wuhia otade ebosontwe abrewa a omrika tapila nana krom adwafo na nanom agunafo dehye amanse premne amansa sonfo Obeng Chebafo ewa praman su a abusua na wonyira akra aha ene yesi amane amamre abakwasem empeninsem ene atetesem koso na be unsa na nanom penifo na watutu ne ntoma na wakwa na woyi na chia wosu ko hunu a esansa wonte asienti wadwen se ebi anana wakwa akwaji tumi bi ana ebo ne bra
yan yen yete we no kasa no ye du eyi ase ai said amugo we no yete me kire se eyo bema na wegu ana se oba na ewu
eye amamre ene abakwasem dwumadi a yade ebre wo True TV mimi ndabia anwumre na wotwe ekosi na wotwe empemu amamre ene abakwasem eye menu mienu ajapade
This is the end.
Driven by the corporate philosophy that there is a seed of genius in every student, it only requires the right environment to flourish. It is on this that IDU College is still committed to restoring smiles back to the faces of most frustrated candidates. Have you failed in any of your WASSCE subjects? Do you want admission to SHS 1 or 2? Are you ready for a remedial class? Then the solution is IDU College. Fastest growing SHS in West Africa, best result-oriented remedial school in Ghana. Are you battling with maths and science? Do you know there is an antidote to mathematics? Rush now to IDU College and seek admission into SHS 1 or 2, into a remedial class for a SAT class, TOEFL, GRE, GMAT, Cambridge O and A-level. When others sit, we stand. When they stand, we are standing. And when they are standing, we are the standard by which they are measured. We continue to say, how can you fail?
Awusuya yamamajo makwaba sokon edoba True TV akan kesebo so empenise enkwampa anatwe adwa samampa anetumbadin esamafo katrama ampo nefitiasefo ne scientist ebidi hyemusa ne de katrama ebewisa akan kesebo ede amiafefo ewo True TV akan kesebo so empenise ebla ye wotafo ne onkuta eta nemum aboso ba enama ijapane scientist kesebo ne edimu akoten ne bi Ghana aban ene edaso se World Bank ebeboa Ghana sene bi ebenye sikepuduo na yakra vaccine enuo ni yatimi akon etia yade COVID-19 sala ana se yetu fa te se aboa kodia ne hwen esantem ekopiem ewo Nigeria mamu a sabe Nigeria Center for Disease Control ede abetu gasa sabe onom de tabono ato bia na onom eye COVID-19 test a nanso test na omoye no na nyadia efa ekwam sabe ye genkrato ye ba ede kese bo nchemu ebetu edwa Ebusua ene anwumre mi a magepre me de akan kesebo ebremu eye amansa sonfo oben che bafo sabre yenwa dwe na yeni aku emfa emu awiem sede aboa sansa kokochaka eje mfre ewo awiem Ghana aban ene World Bank sabre onu edin kuta ho a ebetumi aboa ama Ghana ban ensa akasika puduo enam so ebema yebetumi akra vaccine a ebetumi akon etia yade COVID-19 sabre enkra no ekoso echem se aban ene World Bank anam sini etu anamon a ebetumi aboa enchebia Ghana ensa ebeka sika yehwehwe yetumi di akra vaccine Ghana aban ene World Bank egu nkutahudie so a onom ehwe etu anamopa a ebetumi aboa nanam so ama World Bank agina mu ama Ghana na yenye sikapudu a ebetumi ede akokra vaccine aba omamu na yetumi ede akon etia yade COVID-19 World Bank Country Director Mr. Pearl Frank Lepoti ana odisa ensemi etu dwa ewo bra na one ensamtrefo etwetwen komo opani ekoso edetwidwa se sabe sedie wonom aye mu kase no asabe anobabaye atumi akọ animu yi a enhyehye nyina egu akwanso a ebra enchebia no World Bank ebetumi aboa tiaseman Ghana na ne ese efata bia yatumi atusu anamon nanam so ama sabe basidia Abanfo aye edikun etia yade COVID-19 no tiaseman Ghana so ebetumi enya ne de nanam so bem yetumi akon ede etia yade COVID-19 World Bank Country Director ekoso echiremu se onum ene Ghana sana hene ene apomden soafo atwetwen komo a die aka ene se onum ede tredua ebesi krata so na omagege ensam atomu eno ene betumi aboa ama sabre nseseye a anansam a onum edi nkutadwo ebetumi awie peye Ghana mampani ede sa ensemi eto omanfo anim dada se one na aban etu anamo biala onum ebetumi enya vaccine na yede akon etia yade COVID-19 omampani ede sa ensemi etu dwa ewobra obi adwumadie bi ano a na wato edin se 72nd Annual New Year School and Conference eho ena nana adedankwa ekufu ado edisa ensemi etudwa na eche Ghana fo nyina bose Ghana aban ene apomden asoye ebeye de ombetumi aye biala na wonom akon etia yade COVID-19 na vaccine ebetumi akon etia yade COVID-19 no wonom ebenya bi ewo memha eno ena sabe onum ede akoda World Bank ya sabe omutu anamon a ebetumi aboa na onmanya sikapuduo akokra vaccine ababe kon etia yade Ebusuya yadaso ewa COVID-19 ensensem. Yefiwa ni yako Dr. Patrick Kuma abuaji sabre ode abetu ebiase. Obo Ghana for abaso papa esanse sabre Ghana for dodo anwa ena enhyehyɛ ya. Ghana ban ene apomden ede agu akwanso se. Ghana for emomoden ni enhye face mask no ekoso ose. Sabre oba enkran pompuni mantamu nipa dodo anwa ana sabre yehye face mask enam so ama yade COVID-19 onom ekon etia yade. Esan yade COVID-19 a sabre age ewiase nyina aboso na efi afia yitwamu ebesi ne ene yade COVID-19 ama ewiase enyina abonyanya enam so ama Ghana ban edkoso ede enhye eto omanfo so sane beya yanso betumi aye ya famu de aboa akon etia yade COVID-19 eno ena sabre enhwehwemu a abeto edwa ekire se sabe se de omanfo a wonom ehye nose mask bi ahuri ekoso ye pepepa eboa ekon etia yade COVID-19 ensam no ekoso ekiremu se sabe se ohamu enchichemu aduanan mienu a na anka akane no onom ehye nose mask no se de nyankropon adaroma ehuri akoso akodu ohamu enchichemu aduanan enson ewo de ebroni yebefre no 43 communities ewo enkrapompuni mantemu onom ekoso ekiremu se sise so hwe enipa a wonom ato agu face mask so a omo hya eno eyade a ebetumi akon aboa na yatumi adi yade COVID-19 so enkunim ewo bra sabre yade etu asete na ekon etia na nipa bebre ananam so eto na nonom ewo ensedo ensam no ekoso ekiremu se ohamu enchichemu aduasa ensia ana ebrebia na sabe na dodo na entumi enhye eye nose mask aso sabe se de ehuri ekoso a enam so ama enigye ewie peye oyi eye hwehwemu bi a Ghana Health Service for ena yeye ewo bra na onom ene nsɛmtwerɛfoɔ etwetwen komo enom de sa ensɛm etudwa enkra no ekoso ekiremu se enkra pumpuni mantamu bia yefrɛ no eye ayawaso abrekuma centra ene emiamia aka no de sɛ wokɔ a ɔmanfoɔ ɛwɔ hɔ no
de ɔsetie ɛyɛ adwuma enipa dodoɔ no a na de nose mark hyehyɛ adwumadie edi ehim na nam so ama yade a yɛfrɛ no COVID-19 Ghana aban ne ɔmanfoɔ etimi bɔ mmɔden ɛko etia
abusua empani sese ode aboa no etudwom na onturi a oda ona sabe de yade COVID-19 si yada so edwamu enam so ama Dr. Gifty Kwashi a sabe ode afutuo ene adesode akọ ede ama Ghana trotro drivers anase commercial driver fo nyina se kase bia sabe commercial driver fo kase yade COVID-19 yade a eye eskafo yade no kase bia eni nyina so ni senti onom enka onom anuntum sane beya enhyehyɛ pa Ghana ban enya pomden ediagu akwanso no nyina betumi edi so nanam so ebema oman Ghana betumi akon etia yade COVID-19
Dr. Gifty Kwashi Ngesa a oye adwuma ewo Midway Clinic ewo Enkrapomponi Mantamu ede adeswede ene afutuo ama commercial drivers se ensansamo asabre commercial drivers dodo no ekekase yade COVID-19 yade a sebi mpredwasa enye ehiafo yade nemum eskafo yade ne senti eskafo na yade COVID-19 etumi echewom no Dr. Gifty Kwashi ede ato adabafo enyina enu se wonom entwe won ho enfri ensam a etesa ho esanse ensam a wonom eka no eni enyina so biara Dr. Gifty Kwashi ekoso echiremu se yade COVID-19 enim obi a oye abofra penin oba obarima wako school ana unko school wo yi ohiani ana unye ohiani enu nti ne twase Ghana for etumi kan ehye no so ehunu ehia se yenyina ede enhyehye pa Ghana aban ene apomden ede agu akwanso no ye betumi afa ne ede aye adwuma nanam so ama yenyina etumi akon etia yade COVID-19 Dr. Kwashi ede sa ensami etudwa ewo bla na ekuo bi a yefrɛ won Strategic Communication Africa Limited edi Nosmark chiche trotro drivers ewo Kwame Nkrumah Circle ewo Mpumpuni Mantamu ena oba penny a wo ye doctor edi sa ensame ani afutuo ekɔ ema driver force wonum enhweye esanse ewiase penisi edua ananse edi awuo no entekuma entenase entonko ne senti se ekoba se ebra yade COVID-19 echi afoforo na ebi enchiwa na wabomodin ahwe hu yesanse empenise se ukoto se aboa bi esi unua so a de esese uka chense aboa sole yeso enkase sole ne so esanse se ofini so a ode ebeba so enunti se driver for adwen eye won se yade COVID-19 echi esikafo nko ade a ene na eyehobu asem ne senti wonum enkai enhwese enhyehye apomden ene aban ade agu kwanso no wonum betumi edi so pepepe nanam so ama Ghana betumi akon etia yade COVID-19
abusua yemfa yeho efiri COVID-19 sensem na afe yemfa yeni enje NDC amayoku ekobi a ewo National Democratic Congress NDC amayoku mu a yefrɛ won Functional Executive Committee the krata akoma NDC amoyoko twetwefo dada owura Samuel Kwaku enido hope say sabe say de onom atwe no esense esanse sabe ne nsem bia oka no eyade a se onom adwene ho a omonche ase esanse eyemwanwa se owura Kwaku enido ho ekeka ensam a etese enam so ama sabe say de onom edna akoma discipline committee se omohwe ne nsem se ebono a na onom atwe no esense nanso se woni asempa bi eka kire ekoya enam so ebamoma asa atwe no aba ekoyemu ebio
ekuo bi a ewo National Democratic Congress NDC mu a yefrɛ won Functional Executive Committee a yetwanetia fake ede ato edwase wonum ede tabono ato twetwerefo abedi akire dada a nanka oye NDC amanyokuo twetwerefo mekire owura Samuel Kwaku enido ho so esanse sabre se omohwe ni su ne ban ene niye bi a oya enya dia eboa eye NDC amanyokuo no eno ena Functional Executive Committee ede krata akoma owura enido ho se empenise pempen osinipen ena se sebi empredwasa se ekro eda wofase enenti na wanyere wo ho an mia ekro no a enye anye bia no na anhwe ya na ne nan akwa enenti ne twa se wonum etimi epemu ekakire owura Kwaku ani da ho se eniema ekoso ene nsem ne ye bia order na die no ayade a eko etia NDC amanyokuo no amamra onum ede ebu wono amanyokuo no the senti ne twa se sable NDC for etimi eten tesu kokko kire owura Kwaku ani da ho sane beya obetumi edin hihye so asabre onom edna koma discipline committee ehwehwe ni nsem ahwese anya bia ensam a enuanom ede akoto no so no ese efata anase ewom NDC amayokuo twetwefo pani owura Johnson Asiedu enkatia ena nsa ehye saa krata ase
Abusuya yetoa akan kese wonso National Service Personnel a ewo garu ewo Upper East Mantamo ede abetudwa ede asode enya futuo akọ ama abanse sebi empenisi etuo enya tuginafo a anato ana ebishi wonu a ana wotubia ebe ne senti won nsa dom sayam se aban enom emwa na wona katu asem no se duru so a aban ema ne ho enye hye emfama won
adwumayefo a wonom ewo National Service mu ewo garu mensnimu ewo Upper East Mantamo ede adesrede ene nkotosere akoto aban enim se na daroma eya oma ne nan emonoto sebi sene beya wonum akatua etwase wonum ensa kano wonum ensa ebetumi akano harso nenam so etumi aboa wonum ama wadwuma wonum ye no ebetumi akonkanye wonum ekoso edetudwa se eya ade a emoa wonum adwuma enu ntida ne da na ama wonum esu egu omuyemu a wonum etwa adwaduo emoa mpo ema adwuma wonum eye no entumi enkoso eno ena wonum a onom eye National Service Personnel for ewa garu mensnimu ede adesrade ato aban se aban adaroma onkoso na onhwe kwampa onbetumi ayensesan yepa aboa wonom ama odwumadi a omudie nso ebetumi akoye esanse empenise se ebi ahwewanum a na oto a eben ene wiase nso abosoba na magyapaye ne senti se wonom adwuma betumi awie peya age se wonom afunum ayedu eno na betumi ahwe onkuran anawso ebema wondwuma omudi ne daada no eboa aban ene enipa ewote asema Ghana mu ebetumi afa ne ntoma pa efra Mr. Abugiri a oye National Service Personnel ekoso edetudwa se empenisi se wode aboa no etugem na ontuya woda wonai nti ebra sabre womo eye adwuma ede aboa aban nye obetumi asre aban enyina no se aban ehu omobo na wonsika sam so entimbre wano sane beya enyoma ebetumi akoso pepepe nam so bema wonom etimanya enigye aye adwuma sala anso na Mr. Daniel Avoka enso edetu edwa se esanse sikasamo ana sebi mpreduasa ema yenti enamso ama bronya yedi yen wonom eto abeseno esanse ebra na ankofo edidi esre na won bronya ekoye ama wonom de na ato om awreho esanse se na wonom dimonsa ehye ombotomu a na ensihwe so Miss Rita Adongo enso ekoso ekiremu se de na hanumpo ense da ne da se kobase sika enini nsem na okwa adwuma na etwase onante form enunti na ode adesre eto aban ene wonom a eka bia emum anim se wonom enhwe kwampa obetuma yensesayepa na atumi aboa na wonsika sam atumi aba brano na adwuma omo yenso obetumi afiri omo yemaye esanse ewiase debi mamini bidie anka enye agobone
afe energy mu ensem ablantia na hote edin ene funny face se omemu eba no empasere ene ensini se yenyi empasere ma amansan ense enfa wonsa emobo won furusu a na ablantie edemu bafua Ghana has the nipa dodo no anenim no ekra ode abeto edwan se sabre Ghana aposifo ene no afa kwan biso a na adwin mu osusu se enya ade a Ghana aposifo ene fa kwampa so enam so ama sabre ono akasa ede nanu asem atodu ama sam ne se die watwa ejaduo akire kwan a Ghana aposifo ede mefa so na entwa yi.
Okay, yeah, you don't want to do funny fans. So I've been bailed out and I slept at the police station from Monday to Tuesday, like 3 p.m. to the 2 p.m. or something. My dad jail. Now I'm an ex-convict. Yeah. I'm locked up. They won't let me out. Locked up. But the most painful and saddest truth which I'm about to reveal is about Ghana police. When they came to arrest me on the highway, they arrested me at the Millennium City Road, around where they sell the Millennium City Road, and I'll be a pharmacy because I've just gotten down to go and buy pharmacy. To go and buy pharmacy, to go and buy medicine. You know, it's not been easy for me. Guess what? The moment I got down, the police car crossed me. Charlie, the way they beat me on Monday, the way the police treated me on Monday, I'm the uncle of no, I'm the book for my son, and I have people there. Oh, what did I do wrong? Me papa no, me papa me do be on bonita. Me many as in am baby. Drama for 10 million, and I got to speaker again, just 10 million. And I to speaker to help myself. Me do be anybody that, and I back you. Me money yo, Ella Bella, me money yo. Me don't pitch an atom message. On the pen, on the pen, just fighting for my children. I got a prison. I bomb my Zumba, you know what? Nelson Mandela slept in prison before. JJ Ronnie slept in prison before. All great men slept in prison before. Watch out when it becomes great. The police maltreated me. Look, you're come and know the police. I'm going to take away the 12 women. I'm bomb my Zumba. They are dragging me on the floor. What did I do? What did I do? Police brutality. Why? God bless good policewomen. God bless good policemen. Like commander. Like the Pentecost commander. When he saw the way they treated me, he said, why? A country that you kill your heroes and celebrate after they are dead. That's a deep statement. Hello, Bella. Watch out, daddy fight for you to my last drop of blood. No, this I won't insult your mother. I won't insult your mother. Okay, Vanessa. I love you. I'm fighting for you, okay? And the babies, big ups to Kimberly. It's a great Kimberly for me. It's not easy. My brother. God.
Ebusuya yefa onua funny face isu a osu so yefa Americatum enko Nigeria emema ho na abetodwa se Nigeria Center for Disease Control de abetodwa se na bia bi ewo ho a onom COVID-19 test nanso hwehwemu abede di se enya dia sa nkofi etumi bua ema test ya na omo ye no etumi koyi eno na so amasabe om de tabuno atoso a abana nkasa age esini na so ohwe se enhwehwemu pa abetumi akoso ne nam so ama manpanifo anaso manfo adwemu ebeye on fine
Empenise se entokwa ebene oso ana se ato ne akekakeka esan yade COVID-19 ti enam so ama sabese die ewiase afa na nyina ana abonyanya ne nyina ene se sabre yade COVID-19 age ewiase enyina aboso enam so ama Nigeria Center for Disease Control ede ato edwase enya dia onom ebema kwan ama bia na onom eye COVID-19 test ewo Nigeria manu dwumadie ebetumi akoso enkra no ekoso ekyem se bia na onom eye COVID-19 test yi eye bia no kwasem ne se nanya dia saa dwumaku etimi bua etimi ye nhwehwemu krogen efa wonom a ewo yade COVID-19 ho enam so ema nipa dodo a na wonom ekohwe wono apom se enya bia wonom ewo COVID-19 no na wonom entumi enhu enokora na ewo mu Director General ono ena oda Nigeria Center for Disease Control ano owura Chikwi Ingwezu ena odisa ensam etudwa ekire ensam trefo eka kire won se enya dia wonom ebetena se ama obi ede asokwan adano achenchena ewo bra wonom enimnimdie biara efa kwane a yefa so eye COVID-19 test se obi wobi anase obi enibie eno ena saben owura Ingwezu ekoso ede atudwa se aban ene apomden asoeye ede nhyehyeye egu kwan so a wonom ebetum aboa aye hwehwemu poten aboa ama obi ehunu se saa nipa no owo yade COVID-19 anasa ebra otu kwan no ne nkrata a etwa se edi adanse se onibia no ebetumi aye adwuma pepepe enche ye kura ena wonom ede tabo no eto Emirates Airlines so esanse sabule no na wonom eye nhwehwemu efa yade COVID-19 ho a don hwiri na pe na onom se ono wi na bra Nigeria authority for ehunu se saa kwan a wonom efa so enye no sabule on the tab no atoso ehwe se enyema nyina ebetumi akọ wano na bio Nigeria man no ebetumi akọ etia yade COVID-19
Abusuya empenise se ekwan no ewa seden ala ekowie ewo abobo no sala ena se aboa anoma ochere so a ogebo aha ena ebre ebem yekan ye de akan kesebo abisen ansana no odofo yenhwe akan kesebo die na edimu akoti ne bi Ghana aban eni daso se World Bank ebeboa no ama wanye sika fuduo akokra vaccine na so ama yetumi akon ade atia yade COVID-19 sala ana se yeko Nigeria memo sabe ono tabo ato biabia na omo ya COVID-19 test so enam so amasabe se di aban no nkasa age esi ne nan eso wie abusunya me a ene me chepre ekenkan akan kesebo edemamu eye amansansonfo oben chei bafo mamumo ne hwa
I'm introducing, women who are busy, younger women, older women, middle.
Bipolar disorder curable or manageable?
It is manageable, just like high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma. They're all manageable.
I'm coming from a background of a separated family. School didn't really go well for me.
Do you have a sewing machine?
Yes, I have a sewing machine.
But you learn how to sew?